Welcome to Mangahigh's Maths Mastery or Timetable Challenge. Today what I'm going to do is show you guys the activities that your students will be working on, and we're going to look at this from a student's perspective. All of these activities will be pre-assigned for you by your Mangahigh consultant, so simply your students will need to click into Assign and it will bring up a list of activities that they simply need to click into and actually start working through them. Now, depending on whether or not your students are doing a times table mastery or whether they are completing the mental maths mastery, there will be a slightly different combination of activities. So for today, let's get started with having a look at some of the activities that your students will be encountering when they're doing the mental maths mastery activities. So there will be a combination of games, which have these game-looking icons, and Prodigy activities, which are quiz activities that we can work through, and we'll go through together as well and show you how to pass them. So different games will have slightly different mechanics, and mental maths mastery covers a combination of topics including fractions, decimals, estimation, order of operations, and so forth. When your students click into an activity, if any other students within the class have already done the work, they will actually see who the top students are for that particular activity. Now, this is what we call a positive leaderboard, so we only show the top 5 students. Click play and that actually starts the activity itself. Now, depending on the topic or the game that your students have chosen, they will have different game rules associated with it. But don't fear, students generally are pretty good at trying to figure out what the games are and how to actually operate the game mechanic. So in this particular case, we're playing a game that is all about ordering fractions, decimals and percentages. And all I'm trying to do is get the largest number on top, clicking into the bud and actually ordering it and placing it up to the top. Then what happens is, because we've perfected this stem, our bee, there's going to be a bee that comes along, pollinates our garden, and that will give us multiple more stems to work through. Now, you'll also notice that the new stems will come in slightly different flowers format. So a yellow flower, which is the flower that we were working at before, that will have the same level of mathematics, but the purple flowers will have a maths that's a little bit harder compared to the yellow flowers. So progressively, your students will get through to the harder flowers. Now, in order to pass this activity, our students will need to get a bronze medal. And the way they do that is they collect money. So they need to make at least $20. The gardener needs to come and pick it up, make at least $20, and they can see how much money they've collected so far in order to get a bronze medal. And we simply keep going until the timer runs out, and it tells you how much money you've actually made in the end. So I'm going to close this game just so that in the interest of time I can show you a few more other games that your students will be working on when they are completing the mental maths mastery activities. So the next game here is called Order of Operations. Roboops, and the way you can tell is this, that's the name of the game, but that's okay. If your students have earned a medal, it will actually tell in the panel that they have earned a bronze, a silver or a gold medal. Now, as a minimum pass rate, we want our students to be achieving at least a bronze medal. And simply click play. And over here we see our robots will come along, and we need to use the computers, we need to use the panel to actually answer the maths that's presented on the robot. So 4, 7, okay. Yep. Great, so it will allow us to keep going. So that was kind of a training moment that we had because we're starting a game. So you will see that there will be a whole collection of robots that come through pretty quickly. And we need to rescue the robot simply by clicking on the answers. So 4, oops, sorry, that's not 4, that's 2. And we want to rescue 8, 2 times 4 is 8. We also want to rescue 6 divided by 2 is 3. And we keep on going. So the idea is we don't want the robot to reach the end, which is where, the robot gets captured. So 3 plus 4, that's 7. And so forth and so on. And then, of course, the time runs out. There's the timer there. And then at the end, we get told, the students will get told if they have earned themselves a bronze, silver, or gold medal. And it's all about, we just keep going until the timer runs out. So that's one of the other games, and here's another game called Deepest Ocean, and the whole purpose here is to learn about the positive, negative numbers and the greater than and equal to and greater than, less than and equal to symbols. So we have a game here. Again, we need to reach 600 points to get to a bronze medal. We are operating, I'm going to turn the sound off. We are operating this submarine, and the submarine has a value of 5. Is 5 less than 1? If not, then we don't capture that exotic fish. So we'll just hover our mouse around and capture the fish that makes the correct inequality. Okay, so what's this one? 5 is less than 9. Oops, 5 is less than 7. And again, we keep going, and we need to reach the minimum amount of points. And progressively, the games do get harder. So if we get a series of questions right, we dive a little bit deeper, and the maths gets a little bit harder as well. So we have 0. 0 is less than 2. 0 is less than 9, but 0 is not less than -9. So as you can see, we now have negative numbers that we need to work with. Make sure that we don't collect the incorrect fish. And again, diving deeper. And we basically keep going. So again, I'm going to close out of this game because that was a quick preview. Here's another game, Estimate with Subtraction. So click on the game, click play. Target score 20,000 to get to a bronze medal. So we'll pick the first level. So there are 16 penguins, and what we're doing here is it's an estimation game. So 11 minus 2, that's roughly just over 8. Okay, 10 minus 8, that's around there. The harder the level gets, the smaller the iceberg is. So that increases the accuracy of our estimation. So 9 minus 1, and so forth and so on. And we just need to reach the minimum points required to get to a bronze medal. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm hovering my mouse across to help the penguin cross the island, basically. Alrighty, so I'll close this game as well. So again, there is a whole collection of different games that your students are exposed to when they are completing the mental maths mastery activities. And it's a matter of getting through all of the activities, earning a bronze medal for all of them. We then run a report that shows that they have achieved 100% completion of the activities that's been pre-assigned, and then they will earn themselves a maths mastery license. Okay, so multiple of 4. 3-digit multiples. Okay, so we're going to do, so I'm just going to do this and click on the cloud, and if the answer is correct, we will then plant that plant. So, or that pot gets planted. So multiple of 4, we then say 32. Again, as you notice, there is easy, medium and hard and eventually extreme questions as well. So multiple of 10, we're going to say, oop, that's incorrect. Multiple of 5, so we're going to say 8, 130. And so forth. Okay, so we keep going until we've achieved our bronze medal. So that's a collection of the different games, or the different examples of the different types of games the students will be working on. And here's another activity, and this is what we call a Prodigy activity. It is an adaptive quiz, which means your students start at the easy level and they eventually move to medium, then hard, then eventually to extreme. Okay, it shows you how many points you need to earn. So at the moment we're on 0 points, but we need to earn at least 4,200 points. So clicking on play, and it starts us off in the first question. So that's an easy level question. That's where we can see the number of points we've earned. Look at the number line below. What number is A? 200. What number is B? 400. Okay. Click submit. So there will be a whole collection of different Prodigy activities your students will be working on as well. Which of the following is 10 less than 32? So notice that even though we're doing an easy questions, the questions are not exactly the same. It's the whole idea behind this is to help your students gradually construct their learning. and eventually get up to those hard and extreme questions. So because we got 3 easy questions right, you've now moved up to the medium level questions. 570, take 10, that gives you, we can use these visual aids to support us as well. We can also see at this point I've answered, this is my 5th question out of 10. There's 112 points that we've collected so far, 130 plus 10, that gives us 140. And 240. Because we got 3 medium questions right again, you've now moved up to hard. And eventually, if we get to a point where we are getting 2 questions incorrect, which I'm going to deliberately do for us, then what then happens is the activity goes back down. So 2 questions incorrect means that the questions get easier. Okay, so doing that one. Too hard incorrect, we move back down to the previous level. And we keep on going. So basically the idea is we want our students to gradually grow towards the harder level questions. And so I'm going to show, so an operation and a number are missing from this number sentence, which 2 of the following shows the missing. Okay, so there'll be 100 and a plus. Okay, so at the end of the 10 questions, what your students will see is a summary of how they went. So 360, take 100, is the answer. So at the end, in this case, we haven't earned ourselves a medal. So we've earned 3,167 points, which means we're getting close to a bronze medal for a pass mark, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. In fact, on Prodigy, we always encourage students to attempt each task at least 3 times. So gradually they'll move from easy through to medium and then overcome the hurdle in hard and then eventually get into extreme as well. So there are 3 levels of medal standards that your students can achieve on Mangahigh. There is the bronze standard, which means they need to answer 3 hard questions correct. Then there is the the silver level, where they answer mostly extreme questions correct. And if they want to push themselves to a gold medal, they need to answer all 10 extreme questions correct. Okay, so clicking on review, they can go back and review the questions. And again, behaviorally, this is what we encourage them to do. Go in, review their questions, learn from their mistakes by clicking on solution and learn from their mistakes. Once they've learned from their mistakes, now they're ready to go back and click play again. If we finished at the hard level, it will start you at the hard level. Because we finished at medium, it's restarting us at medium. So gradually your students will work their way towards hard, then eventually to extreme. So it's not a race, it's a learning quiz. So really remind your students that this is all about learning and encouraging them that the rules are they need to check their mistakes before progressing again. They need to attempt each task at least 3 times. And this is a Prodigy quiz and that's how it functions. Okay. Now, whether you're doing the mental maths mastery or whether you're doing the times table challenge or the times table competition, your students will still encounter the Prodigy activities. Now, the Prodigy activities, even with the times tables, it still follows the same format. But the other activities you want to also look at for times tables are the games associated with times tables. One of them being Jetstream Riders, clicking on play. And the idea here is to answer as many questions as you possibly can really quickly. So this faded version here, that's our personal best. So in your very first attempt, you won't see your personal best. But when you have attempted it several times, you will compete against your personal best to try and get as high as you possibly can. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we can also track live as to how far we are progressing above or whether or not we're reaching towards the bronze medal or the gold medal. So left-hand side, each round lasts for 60 seconds. So it's a matter of answering as many questions as you possibly can within the 60 seconds to get through to your silver or even gold medal. But like I said, bronze medal is the minimum pass mark. So long as your students can at least get to bronze, we'll be quite happy with that and they will be eligible for that times table license. And at the end, your students will see if they have achieved a bronze medal, a silver medal, or a gold medal. So in this case, we now have 1 second left. That's done. At the end, we can see what height we got to, and of course, the medal achievements or the medal level that we have achieved so far for this particular game, or for that particular level. Okay, there are also, so there is a whole collection of activities on Mangahigh. There are also games in this game center. When your students have done and completed all of the activities that we have assigned for them, they do have the freedom to go into the game center and explore furthermore games beyond the timetable or beyond the mental maths mastery activities that we have set for them. And just lastly, if your students are curious and interested in finding out how they're progressing, they can always click into their name and click on progress, and that's where they can see how they're progressing in terms of the activities that's been pre-assigned to them. Clicking on assignments, they can see, say for example, in this case, this student has completed 28% of the activities. They can see which activities they have done, what medal achievements they got to, and which activities they are yet to do. Okay, so that's it from me. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a look through the Mangahigh maths, mental maths and timetable challenge activities. I wish your students all the best, and definitely look forward to working with you guys.